I wanted to make a quick video about love. And to talk about love, which is poorly understood this day and age, I want to talk about identity, our identity, your identity, and how oftentimes in the world that we live in, we base our identity in the things we do or how we perceive others perceive us, which is wrong. We base our identity in the same world that Jesus told us not to be like, not to conform to. That's where we base our identity. So people will put their value in that, and they'll say, I'm a plumber, I'm a drummer, I'm an artist. However, that's not our identity. That's the image that we portray on top of our identity. It's oftentimes just a vain imagination where we make our own styles, we make our own expressions, which are oftentimes, again, vanity, vain imaginations. But if you remove all that and strip that away from someone, which often happens when life shakes things up, what you get is a broken person who's lost because they thought they knew who they were and come to find out they didn't. And that scenario can happen to anyone. And when you base your identity in the things of the world, you're set up for failure. You're set up to be dissatisfied at some point because you weren't living your true purpose, because you never knew who you were, because you forgot who your maker was. So in order to know our identity, we need to know our maker, right? And of course, our maker is God. He's made us. And with that being said, he's made us in his image. Genesis, he made us in his image. And what is that image? And it's kind of interesting that God says, hey, I'm making you in my image. The same God that says, no one's ever seen me, no one will. God's the Spirit. But when we come together, right, and love one another, God is with us. God is love. So, the person who said he made us in his image has no visible image for us other than what could be understood as love. God is love. So, love is in us, and when we draw closer to one another, loving one another even more so, then we're closer to God, closer to our true image, purpose. So our identity is one of love, which is a powerful, powerful identity. So God is a spirit, God is love, the fruits of the spirit is love. This is all one and the same, greater levels of oneness and wholeness, right? So, looking for opportunities, if you're wanting to know who you really are and to be truly satisfied, you need to operate out of love. So, when you have to wait, be patient, because love is patient even in waiting. Love is willing to suffer for the good of somebody else. Love is willing to go out of its way to help somebody. Love will go out of its way even when it's inconvenient. Love will give charity. Love will give freely. Love will give at its own cost. So, when you read verses like love is patient, love is kind, love is not boastful, right? You're talking about your own identity that God has for you too. So you want to be those things. You want to be patient. You want to be kind. You want to not boast. You want to make sacrifices. You want to not envy. These are the things that won't ever leave you unfulfilled. Whereas living for the wrong reasons, for the wrong purposes, at first tastes sweet, but its end is bitter, right? So when people tie their identity to the wrong thing, oftentimes they go through a honeymoon where everything seems okay, but later on, sooner than later, life catches up with them and they find themselves in despair, wondering what happened, looking back at the old days, wishing they were young again, wondering where they went wrong. And that's the best case scenario is that they realize there's something wrong, something needs to be fixed. They weren't living right. That's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is they never know. They never come to a knowledge of the truth, and they perish, missing their calling, missing their purpose, which just was to love. And it's greater to give that love than it is to receive. As a case in point, think of some time in your past where you were truly kind to someone, and then ask yourself, was that more fulfilling to be truly kind? That could be a gesture, trying to help somebody, giving someone a gift, some act of true kindness. That's what you want to measure. Was that more fulfilling than you having ever been given something, someone been kind to you, on the receiving end? So, in my own personal life and the people I ask, I find it to be true over and over again when someone has a good example of when they were really, really kind to somebody else, going out of their way to be kind to someone else. That was always more fulfilling than receiving that same kindness. Not that it's not good to receive, but it's also so much more awesome to give and to be the conduit for that love of God. So I want to encourage you to start looking for opportunities to be kind, to be patient, to give, to go out of your way to help someone, even a stranger, anyone at all, to show the kindness of God in this world where it's less and less known and understood what love is. Right? I hope that blesses your heart. I hope that's beneficial to you in some sort of way. God bless you.